What's going on, ladies and gents? We here for some lunchtime talk. This one is important, guys. All right, so Steve and I are going to talk to you guys today about choke point. It's extremely important for everybody who's an investor in cryptocurrency to know what's going on with the exchanges and the on-ramps that we're using. So today, that's what we're going to discuss because it's getting real. Time is upon us. Steve, what's going on? How you feeling over there, brother?
Everything's good. Go ahead and just let them know what Operation Choke Point is, and then we'll get into some particulars.
Got you. All right, so choke point basically started under the Obama Department of Justice system, and basically it was his way of leaning on banks to lean on and limit the undesirable markets, gun sales, alcohol businesses, things like that. So it was just a way of kind of strangling the businesses for those industries. Now, what we have now in present day is with cryptocurrency exchanges. So choke point, they call it choke point 2.0. It directly involves the ability to be able to purchase and get onto exchanges. So it limits your ability to buy cryptocurrency. If you can't enter into the market of cryptocurrency, they've done their job. That's choke point. And that's what's upon us right now. So I want to get into a couple particulars before Steve drops his take on it. So there's a couple exchanges that I was just researching, right? So right now, present day, this is April 12th, 2024. So Bybit has been banned in the United States due to SEC regulations. You've got KuCoin, they just had to stop and they were banned in New York. You had Binance US exchange, they were just limited. Bitfinex, right now you have Coinbase that's currently in litigation with the SEC. So they are potentially on the brink, but I don't see that happening because Coinbase is in bed and they're custodying with these ETF players. So these big institutional guys, they've chosen Coinbase to be their custodian. So I don't see Coinbase going anywhere, but just to let you guys know what's going on, they're in litigation. And then we have MEXC, which we currently use with the Academy. They're on the brink of a potential closure, right? So there are a lot of exchanges that are being limited, and this is happening rapidly. When I say rapidly, I mean over the last 6 months. So what's upon us is MiCA regulations. This is a global phenomenon. So this happens in Europe, and once it happens outside of Europe, this is a way for all countries to sign up under one main premise, which is to regulate stable coins and exchanges so that everybody has to provide insight to their financials and basically be in compliance with regulations and state laws that are about to come. So in layman's terms, it's about to get real. So all of these other extra exchanges that we've been able to use and to purchase and sell cryptocurrency, they're doing away with it unless the exchange provides KYC, excuse me, which is know your customer, and just basically making sure they're on point across the board. And a lot of exchanges, they don't want to do that, and they don't want to sign up for the bit license. So without going too deep, guys, these exchanges are shutting down and they're cracking down on it fast. So this is choke point 2.0.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So guys, he kind of gave you the background on what it is, but here's the first hand of what's happening, right? So with MEXC, that's the rumblings, right? They're currently in court. We gave you guys some backup exchanges for everybody that's trading, and we've had these before. Okay, so anytime something happens, don't wait to do whatever. Start to make your pivot now. So if you're on there trading on MEXC, I would tell you to get Bybit and BingX and start getting familiar with it, because what's going to happen is it's going to shut you down. Then you're going to panic, and then you're not going to be ready for the other exchanges. They look similar. They vary slightly, but you have to get back in there, fund it with some money, and then just start doing some trades. They both have demo trading also. So yesterday I had a few assets over at MEXC. Honestly, they shouldn't have been there, but either way, I was looking for the prices to go up, and then I was going to swap and convert out and then make another move. So yesterday I attempted to, well, I took mostly everything off. Right now, the only thing that I have a problem with is on the Solana network, and that's my Jupe. But there was another student that mentioned that they tried to take off mobile from MEXC, and that's on the Solana network. So I did find an article that as of April, it was dated April 5th, that there was some maintenance updates that Solana was doing, and they and you couldn't send anything off of MEXC because of the maintenance update. So I find that kind of hard to believe because I've been dealing with Solana with meme coins. I'm in and out of those. I've sent from other exchanges, so Jupiter, Radium, no issues the last couple of days. So this is an issue directly with MEXC. So understand this, guys. When Ripple or XRP, well, the effects of Ripple created a lot of exchanges. Once the SEC sued them, it created a ripple effect where no one wants to stand next to this asset at this point now. So everybody did what? They delisted XRP. Okay. So let's put our thinking hats on. If the government wants to create a inability for you to purchase cryptocurrency, they don't have to put a ban because they know they can't ban it. But what they can do is they can pressure the places that we purchase from, and that's the whole choke point situation. Okay. The other thing too that you have to realize, and this has been happening for years, anytime the government needs access to wallets or they need stuff blocked, they turn to the exchanges, and the exchanges are able to do that. So there's two sides to this. There's the law enforcement side where it's like, all right, well, something was stolen of mine. And then there's the side where they just want to F your life up and just make it difficult for you to move. So of course, if you can do it on the law enforcement side to stop bad activity or bad actors, then who's holding court here? You understand? So this is the issue that a lot of exchanges are going through with these governments. At the end of the day, what the governments needed them to do was they needed, and there's just the powers to be, right? Crypto is going to be here to stay. But what they needed was they needed enough interaction in human behavior to understand how people would be using this technology, right? So these last years from 9 till now has just been a play. We've been acting this game out for them. So now that they want to come back in and take it, this is where we're at right now in the process. Okay. So all you have to do is hit up an exchange and tell them to stop, to kill the liquidity in Tether. That's it. And you're starting to see this around the world. Canada, you can't use Tether. Boom, liquidity's out immediately, right? Because what an exchange wants to do is they want to stay around for as long as possible because this is how they make money. So if there's one project on the exchange that's creating a problem for them, they don't need those problems because it affects their overall business. So it's easy for them to, and I don't expect any exchanges to stand up for us or even stand up for any project in crypto at the end of the day, right? Your business is being a marketplace of multiple exchanges, but I've told you from the beginning that exchanges are going to be our banks in the future, the not so distant future, right? So with that said, ask yourself this question: would the United States government allow someone from another country to set up a bank here in the United States without passing the regulatory tests and things like that? No. So same thing for exchanges. There's no US exchanges outside of like Coinbase, Gemini, Uphold, right? So when we're dealing with the MEXCs, the Bybits, the Big X, these are all international exchanges. So that means that they're going to have to go through their own regulatory issues in other countries besides the US. So England is going to want to control theirs. Saudi is going to have their situation. Dubai is going to have their, right? Everybody's going to have their own because they want to control their liquidity. Then on top of that, you know that if there's only one, then it makes for, it's not so fair of a market at that point now. Yeah. Now they can easily manipulate us. You understand? Meaning if they need to block our accounts, you don't have to go through thousands of exchanges to do whatever. And then that makes it hard for us as individuals to be able to move around in a decentralized way. Right? So now you're starting to see this is starting to look like business as usual again. And actually they have more parameters and control in place now than they did with the old system.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay? Because all these transactions are on the blockchain. Understand, these guys are watching every move, everything in real time. And they've been, AI has been implemented in this whole situation. So they can scour wallets in seconds and figure out anything that they want, right? So I went to take stuff off yesterday. I just want to kind of show you what these exchanges do to us. That's why it doesn't matter to me. Can we see the screen?
Yep. Yeah, we good.
You see the withdrawal?
Yep.
All right, so I tried to redrive this play called Kata. Guys, this ain't financial advice. It's just something I had, a little bag sitting there. It's on the Ethereum network, so it's ERC20. And when I went to go withdraw it yesterday, it was giving me this issue. The withdrawal network was suspended. I couldn't get this thing off. So what I did was I liquidated it. I turned it into a stable coin and I got it up out of there. Okay. The next one is, and hopefully you guys can see this.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right. So if you look, then Kata was also on the Binance Smart Chain, right? So understand there's different chains for the same projects. So I said, you know what, let me go over to Binance. That's probably going to be more, let me get my Binance address for my cold storage. It's probably be more affordable on fees, cheaper than ETH, and because I can't do ETH anyway. So I go, I get the address, I come over here, and I'm trying to send 500 initially first, because I always like to do a test order. I have 100,000 of these things, okay? When I go to withdraw the 500, look how much I'm receiving. So out of the 500 Kata, they're giving me 70. That means they're taking 430. Right? This ain't even half. This is like crazy if you do the math.
Like 90-something%. That's nuts.
Right. So I'm in business for these guys now. So you know what I had to do with Kata? I just liquidated the bag. So I found alternative ways. So what happens is when these networks know that you're on borrowed time, they start to raise the fees on us. Gate.io's done this. Everyone has done this. I've had networks that blockchains, exchanges that shut down, and they don't even give you warning. They just take all your assets with you. Okay. And then you have some that, you know, they'll allow you a certain amount of time to pull your assets, but then what's happening is they raise the fees on the withdrawals of the asset. You understand? So I remember one time with Gate.io, I was pulling a project off, and do you know, it gave me a minimum. Let's say the minimum was 50,000. I only had 20,000. So in order to pull it off, I needed to buy 30,000 more. I didn't want to make any more investments. What you don't realize is when you go to buy, they might even hit you with a 70% fee on top of it. So you guys have to be very careful right now. This is it. This is how I know that we're right where we need to be. As painful as it sounds, if your bags aren't packed, it's going to be harder and harder and harder to purchase in this market. Now, what's going to work is these decentralized exchanges, but even with that, the government just pulled in Uniswap. So with Uniswap is going to come MetaMask. It's going to come, what's the other one they got over there? A couple others like Uniswap.
MetaMask, Uniswap, Sushi Swap, and some of them other ones. Yeah, it's going to be more that get bought in with it. For sure.
Yeah, so they're all kind of in the same ecosystem. So what decentralized exchanges do is that's just a peer-to-peer system, meaning a person puts up, an individual puts up their crypto for sale, and someone's looking to buy it, and they match you with that.
Yeah,
that's the peer-to-peer network. That one you don't need KYC for because it's decentralized. It's one person has an asset looking to sell it to somebody else. Okay, so if they ever get a hold of that, game over. You know what I'm saying? Like game over for a lot of shit that goes on in cryptocurrency. Absolutely. Now, do I think they can do that? I don't know, but Uniswap is answering to the charges right now. So it's not like they're sitting in the dark web somewhere. Yeah. So there probably are going to be dark pools and shit like that, but then you're getting caught up in like other things, right? So, you know, to each his own on that part. So I wanted to come on here just to tell you guys, like, listen, if you have something on the exchanges, please take them off immediately, put them on your cold storage wallet. I can guarantee that they're going to come after cold storage wallets next. I can guarantee cold storage wallets are going to require you to do KYC soon. All right. So we're looking to pivot. We're looking to adjust. Champ shot a updated cold storage course. It's part of the foundations, part 5, I believe.
Yep.
If you haven't, seen it, if Ledger is your number one, I would tell you go back and watch it. It's not number one on our list anymore. There's 2 more, one affordable, one's really expensive. But air gap technology is a lot more secure. So at the end of the day, guys, I'm going to be looking to figure out how to build, my own private cold storage and eventually bring that back to the academy. A lot more riskier on that end, but you are in the sense of if something happens to your hard drive, you know what I'm saying? But that's probably the only foolproof way, because once they put out the indictments on these guys, they're basically all folding with the SEC right now.
Absolutely.
All right. So understand, you want to get these things off before. If you wait, they are going to take your money in fees. And this is what's happening on the Ethereum network too. And that's why, if whatever the day goes that these guys aren't holding that strong position anymore, I'm okay with it. Because these networks, these exchanges haven't been doing the right thing. They have inflatable, adjustable rates every second. Can you imagine your bank is just charging you whatever they want to at whatever point, depending on the temperature of the market? What do you think these guys would do? So that's why I'm all for regulations at the end of the day. Most of them, all of them are doing the right thing, even with Coinbase, not specifying your fees in real time, not really seeing the liquidity within that market in real time. The whole time that they put, being able to buy an asset now and moving it is important for us. So now they're forcing you to hold it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is getting out of hand. And then now, they're attacking the Visa, MasterCards, the credit card companies. So this is the choke point part that you guys aren't seeing. This is why you're like, oh, this card doesn't work on Skyton Pay, or this amount is because of the, you're still dealing with banks. And do you think institutions want the money going to the alternative to a bank? So my question to you is, how much are we in control of our own money? Right? I have a bank account. It's cash. I'm not even using your credit card. It's my money. I'm telling you that it's not fraud. All you have to do is stipulate that if I lose money in cryptocurrency, that there's no case, or I can't be made whole by the bank. Just give me that one line item. I'm fine with that. I'll click the box every time. So they'll rather take it upon themselves to act like they're doing you a favor. Guys, if your bags aren't packed, I'm telling you, in this exact order, when they shut down these accounts and they start to put their people in play, this is when they're going to run the scoreboard up. And this is when you're going to say to yourself, I wish I had more. I wish I would have done more. And then we're entering a new phase now. It's because if you're preparing for mass adoption, I'm going to tell you, before mass adoption comes, those bags have already pumped prior to that, because there's still corporate and institution adoption and government adoption. All that comes first before mass adoption. So what do you think the price of these projects are going to be by the time the general public comes?
Astronomical.
So listen, that's just a quick hit. We have Skyton Pay, that's still viable. I believe Champ used a Navy Fed card. Most people are good with Navy Fed.
Yep.
So I would say right now, it seems like those smaller banks are the safer ones, in the sense of allowing these situations to go through. But again, the head of the snake is always going to be the logo at the bottom right of your bank card.
Sure.
So once they clip the logo, I don't care what institution has. So don't look at this as a bad thing. Just look at it as one step closer to being able to, watch this thing take off.
Yeah.
And then what happens when they start to kill this liquidity? What happens to the liquidity now? It's moving where? To another exchange. You understand? So this is their way of controlling where the outflow and inflow of the money comes from. It's easier for them to put parameters in place in the US than it is for them to look. Because I used to work fraud protection at Fleet Bank back in the day when I was in probably my last job ever in undergrad. And Fleet Bank, if you don't know, it was taken over by Bank of America. So in fraud protection, anytime something happened internationally to a customer, we don't even investigate it. There's no real jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? So we would just pay the claim.
Yeah.
Right? You're starting to notice banks now aren't paying claims anymore. People are getting spoofed out of money. I got caught on a Zelle situation. So be careful sending Zelle to people. My bank gave me the money back, and they told me it'd be the last time. But again, I have a good banking relationship. They're taking money from people, guys. If you don't know about the Dodd-Frank situation that Obama signed into law during his administration, go research it. DODD. 2 Ds, Dodd-Frank. Okay. And then just it's deep. It's a lot of consumer protection stuff, but just go look at what it did to the banking system now. So everything at the bank is a debt. You understand? All our money is considered debt at the end of the day. And if they need to, they can convert that and use that money at any time. So basically, we don't own the money that's in our bank. This is why people are missing money for whatever the bank is telling them, and the banks aren't giving the money back because one, the banks don't have the money to really give back to people now. So now you have to question the FDIC, because if you're proving that this person didn't do this and you're not giving them the money back, then what's happening? So start paying attention, guys. Trust me. And if you think the exchanges are bad, just watch what the banks are doing to people individually now. And Zimbabwe this week being the first to create a digital back currency backed by gold. So I'm gonna pose this question to all my Americans on here that are watching this right now, especially my black and brown people. How come third world countries are adopting this technology and they see the importance of it? Because I'm paying people from these countries. You know, we've hired consultants, you know, from other countries to do work for us in our back end, and they're asking to be paid in crypto. So I'm asking the questions. This is their way of hedging against inflation. This is how they're creating income. You know, one of the guys that works with us, you know, he does funnels. He's asking me to pay him in Tether, and I'm like, I'm not. The fees are crazy. I'll send you $100 to pay 30. So I'm teaching him, listen, I'll pay you in Solana. Hold that for a couple weeks, right? So what turned to 100 turned to like 100 and something. He was so happy he didn't even know.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't even have the deep knowledge, but understand when inflation starts to get to 400%, you know, 3-digit percent, that becomes a problem. You know, 20%, 30%. Some countries are 100 and something percent. We're at 5, 6, and we're crying. We could feel things. So just imagine 10x the prices of everything that's in the grocery store right now. That's looming, guys. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So now we have to start to figure out, like, all right, how do we make this adjustment? How do we hedge against inflation? Gold and silver are both up. This is where we go to the plan 1 and 2. All of it's been outlined for you before. If you keep waiting to be reactive in the moment, it's too late. You're priced out. You're priced out. That's all I got.
Listen, we just wanted to come and bring you guys this valuable information, understanding that cryptocurrency market itself is going to continuously be dynamic. It is going to continue to change. So you can never get comfortable, and you can never think just because you may have been here, or even if you're new, that you can have one foot in, one foot out. When you're dealing with the future of finance, everybody must be present. Everybody must be accountable. Security is everybody else's job, right? So we all have a responsibility, not only to ourselves, but to our financial well-being in the future. Being prepared, being in the know, and the way you do that is by being in a community of like-minded people who give you valuable information, and that's Skyton Academy. So we appreciate you guys being on this call today. This is going to wrap up our talk for Choke Point 2.0. All right, and we'll see you guys on the next one.